Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atin sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tunong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil.
The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Good morning mga Katipuneros, good morning brothers and sisters here at the Ateneo. Yes, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Today is Tuesday, October 8, 2019 and welcome to our radio show here at Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. This is the Jesuit Hour and I'm your host, Father Nono Alfonso SJ. Good morning po sa inyong lahat. And of course, please don't be distracted by the faces, the beautiful faces that you see on your screen. Magdasal muna po tayo. Today, of course, this month, the whole month is the month of Mama Mary, the month of the Rosary. So we pray through her intercession, in the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so my dear friends, good morning po ulit sa inyong lahat. And we welcome you all, especially our alumni from the, from the US and Canada. Oo, lagi po sila nanonood sa atin. Thank you so much. And please spread the word. Ngayong Oktubre, merong Justin. Merong meeting of alumni sa Australia. Oo, so sana po masabihan natin ang ating mga alumni, you have a home here at the Radyo Katipunan. Okay. So good morning. I'm a bit under the weather. Oo, tinangkaso ako over the weekend pero hindi halata, di ba? Professional tayo eh. Wow, were you there?
I was
really?
there. So yes, I was really encouraged by your homily.
Thank you.
The faith as small as a mustard seed is enough.
Is enough. Thank you so much. You made my day. Okay, so pakilala po natin, of course, from In Touch, we already know Miss Jelly Verata. Yes, one of the counselors there. But, okay, with her now is, nakakahiya po sa akin. Kasi dati ko raw siyang estudyante. So that dates me, Okay, so my dear friends, please welcome Jake Flores. Jake Flores. Okay, so siguro tanongin ko muna si Jake, kasi
Sure.
So Jake, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Always happy to be home at Ateneo. True Blue myself.
Oo. Anong batch ka ba sa Ateneo nga?
High school is 2005. So, college is 2009.
Yes. And what course did you graduate from?
Political science, and then psych and English.
Wow. And now you're working full-time sa In Touch.
Yes po. I'm working full-time with In Touch. I'm the helpline manager for In Touch Community Services. So, So I manage our crisis line. So I work with our volunteers, responders, and our consultants.
Wow, so it's really a full-time work, ano, Jelly, ano? Oo.
Yes,
So
especially with the need really for the crisis line to support people calling in.
Definitely.
Yeah, Jake is full-time. Really, count on him.
So, nandun ka lagi sa... But do you also do counseling like Jelly?
No naman. I'm not a licensed counselor like sila Miss Jelly, but I started as a volunteer actually for Crisis Line some years back. This was when I had corporate work pa. So I had corporate work then. I was volunteering. I loved what I was doing with In Touch. I felt very much in touch with people.
Yes.
So that helped me volunteer more. Tapos opportunities aligned. I was offered the role of helpline manager. Still trying to make a difference in my own little way.
It is a big difference, diba?
It
Like
is.
the mustard seed, diba?
Yeah, Jake has done really well with.
Yeah.
We've streamlined the crisis line training this year, so it's more, more compressed and impactful for the volunteers, and so we'll continue with that for the next year.
So si Jake manages the volunteers, diba?
That's right, yeah.
When you say volunteers, sino yung mga yon? Mga counselors then, or...
No naman. Actually, we work with different groups of volunteers. Some of them are working. Some of them are HR practitioners.
Like you before.
Some are students. Some are even parents who now have time in their hands, like empty nesters.
Yeah.
So talagang, people who, we call them like-hearted people who just want to help.
Yeah. So they just go there and you give them parang the schedule or what they can do.
We provide the training for them so that we're aligned in terms of the standard care that we give.
How many volunteers do you have now?
Well, at one time kasi we train siguro mga around 15 volunteers at one time, and then after they do the training, they do practicum on the helplines. So we're targeting mga 3 trainings in a year, maybe even 4 next year. Hi, Jelly. Hopefully. So
We have
again,
more trainers also.
yeah, so the hope is we have more people to help out. We reach out to more people.
Yeah.
Especially now na the need is great.
Wow, yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for that. So, grabe, I'm so proud.
24/7, yan. That's why we have to
Kaya nga,
maintain
I'm so proud of,
a pool of responders, and then with the training they provide. So these are like ordinary people. You don't need to have psychology background training. Yeah. So we provide the
may training
in
naman,
the basic counseling.
Yeah. Ano sabi sa'yo ng mga magulang mo, Jake? Ano na yung ginagawa mo? Ba't mo iniwan yung, di ba?
Well, they're very proud. Siyempre, they understand. And my late father was also an Atenean himself. So, naintindihan niya when I said na parang I've had my experience at a corporate run. Parang I kind of want to give back and help out. So,
And you look so happy.
I am.
Diba? Diba? He looks happy.
Thank you.
Yun yung pinakamahalaga, diba? Oo. So, okay. So, let's talk about this Thursday is...
Oh, Thursday, yes.
World Mental Health Awareness Day.
World Mental Health Awareness Day, October 10.
Yes, kaya po nandito actually sina Jelly to make us aware of this. There's a special day for mental health awareness.
In a sense, we're continuing from our theme last month of preventing suicide.
Yun naman, ay nako.
Last September, and then now we continue on to general mental health awareness.
Yeah.
I was telling po the two of them that may mga recent suicides na naman tayo na balitaan. It's so sad. I have to mention it, di ba? Parang the tendency is not to talk about it, but well, I hope we're adults. We can talk about it. May mga suicide na naman daw sa mga universities these days, this past week alone.
Yes, that's why it's important for us to be talking about it, raising the awareness for the, let's say, the early signs to know when somebody needs help.
Yes.
So that they can get the help hopefully get the help that they need.
Okay.
So breaking the stigma and the silence around mental health.
Pero yung Thursday as World Mental Health Awareness Day, kailan na niya nagsimula?
I don't know.
Is that global? That's global,
it is
right?
global. Yeah, it is global.
So is that usually kasi UN, United Nations, may mga ganyang.
I think from last year they already started promoting it last year. This World Mental Health Awareness. WHO. Is one of the main proponents also for this.
But I'm sure there's a reason why meron ng specific day allotted for this. Perhaps the mental health issues are dumadami, di ba?
Yes, the awareness is increasing for the mental health issues. That's why, and as well as the cost in terms of to society, in terms of people with depression and anxiety when they cannot work. So it has an impact on the economy when there are increasing cases for depression and anxiety. And as well as the people affected by this. So if you think about suicide is one person taking their life, but there's a whole family and friends behind who are also affected by the loss.
I was so fascinated last week. I saw this documentary, The Vanishing People of Japan. Did you know that 80,000 Japanese just vanish from their lives every year? But eventually, sabi nung police, eventually 70,000 will be found. They will ang iba so ito nga ang mga dahilan tumatakas lang.
They disappear.
They just disappear. They're not, hindi naman yung killed or something.
Yes.
But 10,000 raw hindi na nahanap. Pero yung sabi ko, yung 70,000, yung isa, inimbestigan, yung isa, binubugbog pala ng asawa. So, tumakas siya.
Okay,
so,
that's valid. Yeah.
Pero karamihan yun, may mga mental health issues, nade-depress, bigla na nawawala, etc.
Yes.
But 70,000 is a lot of people. Diba? That's hindi lang economic disruption, but yung I can just imagine yung ini-interview yung mga family, di ba yung bigla na lang nawala, so they're so di ba they're at a loss,
right.
They get depressed as well. It's like, what's happening here, di ba?
Yeah.
So I'm sure all over the world,
It's happening. That's why last September, In Touch had a campaign, Why You Matter. We called it Why You Matter in suicide prevention because all of us matter. We have to assume that maybe we are the one person who will notice when somebody is distressed or troubled. And so encouraging everybody to take the first step to approach approach this person. I think last time we talked about the algae. So approach, listen with empathy, give support, encourage them to seek help, encourage the self-care.
Yes. Alam mo na ba yan, Jake?
Kasi si Miss Jelly is one of our active supporters for In Touch and Crisis Line. Kaya, this becomes, as Jelly mentioned last month, diba, we had that coffee morning for suicide prevention. We took the theme of Why You Matter kasi it's a double message. It speaks to someone suffering from mental health issues, but also to those around, like the gatekeepers around the sufferers.
Yung family
na
members.
you matter. You matter because you just might be able to prevent someone from, committing suicide. So we all matter.
How did that go? Yung mga coffee niya? How did that go? Were they well attended?
It was very good. A lot of HR practitioners went there because they are also wanting to create systems in place in the workplace to support their employees. Tapos we also worked with some churchgoers and teachers. It was a very good. It was a very intimate turnout because you get to hear people, you get to hear stories from people somehow touched by mental health issues. Also, they know someone, or they have family members, or they know someone who took their own lives also. So it's really it's an eye-opening experience. Na we just talk about this, we plan for this, and then people attend and then tell us that they are actually living this reality. So it's very humbling experience also.
Let's backtrack a bit. Jelly, perhaps you can, since you are the professional here, di ba? Ikaw yung professional counselor. When we say mental health, what do we really mean by that? No, it's
yes.
it's bandied around, parang laging ginagamit. Pero from a professional like you, what's the technical definition, as it were?
The standard we always go by is the WHO definition, World Health Organization definition of mental health well-being. So that is the ability of a person to realize and utilize their own talents and capabilities, so they're able to live productive lives, so having work, maintain relationships, and make a contribution to the community, and being able to handle the stresses of normal everyday life. So that's when we know we're mentally healthy. And so somebody who's not able to keep up with that, like minsan kasi na-overwhelm tayo with the stresses of the everyday life, and there could be also overwhelming events beyond that. So with normal resiliency, with the usual social supports, let's say grief and loss, bereavement, namatayan tayo. Somebody who we loved passed away, and that's normal in the course of human life, So with the usual social supports, we're able, we call those like those types of stressors expected, normal. So we're able to get back to our normal functioning. Now, the reason why mental health is important is that we also see like people with physical disabilities who are able to lead normal lives in terms of being productive, having relationships, making contributions to society, because their mental and emotional mindset is helping them to be resilient and to live these kinds of useful, fulfilling lives despite physical disability. So if we spend we spend a lot of time taking care of our physical health, which is usual and expected, why not also our mental and emotional health is equally important.
So may emphasis ngayon sa mental health kasi dati physical health lang yung yung pinahalagahan for as long as you are physically healthy, okay na yun. Pero
there's lots of campaigns on diabetes, living with heart conditions,
high blood, hypertension,
preventing strokes, even for breast cancer. So a lot of that with early detection, you're able to seek treatments right away and have good outcomes for that. So that's what we're also hoping with mental health this time. So with depression and anxiety, those are the more common forms of mental illness, when 20% of the population have been identified worldwide to be experiencing some form of depression.
20%?
20%, yes.
At any time, huh? Wow.
Yes. And we want at that stage maybe like a moderate depression before it becomes severe, that people end up thinking of taking their lives as a result of that. We want the interventions for people living with depression to already seek help, to reach out.
Ano ba yung what are the kumbaga more common mental health issues? You mentioned depression.
Depression and anxiety. Are the top forms of mental health. 20%.
Wow.
Have that. And I think it's because of the pressures of modern life. And then the loss of connections with the family and the community, where I think we talked about that before, that people are feeling more isolated, and despite technology, we're losing personal connections. So we still need to feel that people are around to support us.
Pero again, back to yung mental health versus physical health. Yung mental health kasi hindi masyadong pinapansin, di ba? Like pag malungkot ka, kumain ka lang. Di ba yung ganon? Ganon yung mga reaction ng mga tao, di ba?
Usual.
At one end of the pole, Wala yan. You'll get over it. Kumain ka lang. Tapos pag at the other end naman parang, di ba, ay baliw, di ba? So may stigma, di ba?
Yeah.
So
Parang ang laki ng gap. I mean, there's...
tsaka yung wrong way of handling, ano?
Yeah.
Yung
Well, the usual naman yung the normal blues, yung mga up and down lang natin. Minsan talaga na nalulungkot naman tayo, we get nadi-disappoint tayo. Yung normal na gano'n na kaya na ng mga simple comfort food o kaya lalabas, go out with friends. Those are like the mild forms of distress that with the usual things that we know for self-care, exercise, support, yung parang natatawid or we can get over it. The problem is when pag tumatagal siya, when it lasts more than 2 weeks or let's say months na ganun, that people still feel, we call the persistent sadness, na palaging malungkot, no matter what you do, bumabalik ka dun sa feeling low, sadness, or always worried that you don't know what's gonna happen next or how will you cope. Yun yung when we need to go beyond the usual support.
Si Jake dun sa mga you handle volunteers, diba?
Yes.
And I'm sure you meet people who go through these mental health issues, diba? Is it easy for them to accept that they're struggling with mental health issues?
Well, definitely, I agree with what you said. That there really is the stigma, and that is one of the that is part of the mission and vision of In Touch, na talagang to eliminate that stigma, to work towards eliminating that stigma. So we have volunteers who they themselves experience some mental health issues. It takes a while to be able to talk about it. Diba? It takes a while to be able to talk about it, whether that's contributing to the stigma or other factors. There really is something there, and even with our callers at Crisis Line, you get callers who wouldn't want to talk about what they're feeling in full detail kasi parang sabihin nila, baka raw sabihin nag-iinarte lang sila.
Yun. That's
something
the word.
like that.
Nag-iinarte lang.
Oo. And then you talk to someone who really needs help, who really needs emotional support, but when you ask about who is there to support them, like kahit a friend, a neighbor, someone there, wala, kasi natatakot silang pagchismisan.
Yun, isa pa yun.
So that's definitely, that points to the stigma.
Wow.
Kaya maganda nga we have the crisis line as a parang first line of response. So at least meron silang mapagsabihan kahit one person muna. And then later when they feel they can get support, and sometimes the crisis line will also give some information dun sa condition nila, we encourage them to see dun sa mga kakilala nila, who did they trust? Who else can they begin to open up with? And malaking bagay yun na I was counseling a young woman one time, and when she could finally open up to her family, the reason why she was feeling depressed was because of some bullying. The previous year in her life, kaya medyo she became depressed and more anxious. When she finally opened up to her family, parang dun na-relieve talaga yung depression niya, na at least the family now knows the whole story. They know how to support her better. And then you can see talagang magaan na siya. And, she can do the things she loves.
Ano yun, Jelly? Yung parang pag tinatago mo, na may nangyari sa'yo, and then you tinatago mo yun, di ba?
Yung kinikimkim mo.
Yes.
You're suppressing kasi.
That's not healthy psychologically.
Ang kasi, nangyayari kasi, when we suppress one emotion, lahat sila sama-sama. Like, you know the movie The Inside Out?
Yes.
Yung Inside Out. Yung animation si Inside Out. Sama-sama sila lahat yun eh. So if we suppress, let's
Sabi
say...
ko nga, hindi pambata yung cartoons na yun eh.
Oo, malalim yun.
Malalim.
I like it. Many of the millennials relate to it, so it's easy to explain emotions in that regard. Eh.
So sama-sama yung mga
Sama-sama. If we suppress one, let's say anger or the sadness or the fear, pati si joy, nasa-suppress natin. So, I know it's scary that we have to be like vulnerable and brave in terms of opening up. Kaya what Crisis Line and counselors help, we ask, sino yung, of all the people that you know, sino yung pinaka-trust mo?
Yeah.
Who is the first person you think na will be able to receive the, well, para at least yung, when they tell their story about their sadness or their anger or the fear, they will be able to get some validation or support.
Yeah.
And then, once ma-open up nila, the joy comes back. I mean, like, yung gumagaan ulit.
Yeah.
That, meron palang,
Na-release.
somebody can understand them
Yeah.
or they can begin to get the support that they need. Our best hope is the family. Although we know sometimes family ang problema.
Oo
So,
nga.
who
Yeah.
else sa mga kaibigan mo, kakilala mo, o kaya sa work, yun ang pwede mong
makausap.
na muna. Oo.
Okay. Ikaw, Jake, sa mga tumatawag sa crisis line, ano yung, hindi naman, without, of course, detailing, di ba? But ano yung mga percentages na ganito yung reklamo, ang problema, sa asawa, sa anak, sa trabaho? How would you classify them?
Actually, our top 3 issues, no? Like what Jelly mentioned, ang top issue natin talaga is depression and anxiety. And this was not always the case. Last year, when we looked at the data, it was relationship issues.
Okay.
Okay. So, but now, I don't know if it's a function of people are more aware, which is what we like, and people are starting to talk about it. So, depression and anxiety is top 1. Second ngayon ang relationship issues, so interpersonal issues, whether love, marriage, family, and then ang third natin is work stress. Or work-life balance or work stress. So yun ang mga top concerns natin ngayon, and these are issues that are very relatable naman sa atin, no? So I guess to Jelly's point earlier, for those people who are not as used to talking about their problems and are afraid of being judged because of the stigma, resources like Crisis Line help them be able to open up and without the fear of being judged. Kasi you can give a different name.
Yes,
diba? You can be
yes.
anonymous.
Anonymous.
So you can just be able to talk about what you're going through, and then we all need validation, as Jelly put. No, we all need validation and emotional support, and that's what resources like Crisis Line and counseling can help with.
So what about yung demographics, like in terms of age? Nakaklasify nyo rin ba?
Yes, in terms of age, ang top talaga natin is 20 to 29. Within that age range. So interestingly, it aligns with the data na these are people who are very much in the very much in the workforce or nagtatrabaho. They are the ones contributing to supporting the family, or they are the ones starting their own families. So ang galing nag-align yung mga data or what the facts are telling us. Not to say that conclusive yung data. We're just one part of a bigger picture, but that's why also we want to get more data from other from other helplines, from other government agencies to
Ang galing
put the picture together.
natatrack ninyo na okay. Ano yung, so sabi ni Jelen, 24/7 daw yung
Yes.
tawagan,
Yes.
Pero meron yung peak moments. Kumbaga
Meron. Surprisingly, ang peak hours natin are during business hours.
Business, you mean 8 to 5?
Yes, 9 to 5. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Surprisingly, that's consistently yun yung high volume of our calls.
So they're calling from the workplace?
Some of them are calling from the workplace. Some of them may be calling from cubicles.
Patago,
Because of too much, stress.
Pinagalitan ba ako ng boss ko? Di ba?
The other one is with the night shift. That's their off time. Those who are working night shift.
So marami rin tumatawag?
Yes, yeah.
That night shift naman, that's when they're off from work.
That's when they're off from
So
work.
that's when they're feeling all the pagod,
So they call
frustration.
you.
That's when they call.
So
during the daytime.
malaki rin yung traffic. Wow.
That's true. Tsaka yung when I have some clients who come at that age, ang daming stress sa buhay nila. Kasi especially let's say a call center agent or a BPO worker.
Oh, yeah. Grabe.
So they've taken this job because it's
Grabe.
well paying,
Yeah.
so that they can support their family,
Yep.
their parents, or even other siblings who are still studying. So hanga ako dun na they're putting the needs of the family first, or yung utang na loob nila for their parents or their older siblings who put them through school. But then after a while with as a call center, ang daming stress eh. You have angry callers. And plus in terms of career advancement, very limited also. So in terms of work fulfillment, after maybe a year or two, ganito lang ba ang buhay ko? Di ba? And also the prestige of working in the call center is not the same as other professions. Yeah.
Yung magandang point yun, Jelly, yung mga call centers, they really absorb all the negativity of the clients, di ba? The customers. Even if you say, they've been taught, di ba, how to handle, mga ganyan, di ba? Yung mga matataray. But even with their training, they can still be affected, right?
Kami din, our responders din. Kami din, we absorb some of it. So we have to also learn other ways to distress, to work through it, get support from other responders and other counselors also.
Kaya sana nga there's a system in place. That's something that we try to practice with our responders. Na after every call, you debrief. You talk about so there's still human connection, diba? Kasi hindi madali. To your point, definitely, na you make yourself available, whether you're a helpline responder or a call center agent, you make yourself available, and then sisigawan ka. Diba? So parang there's also an emotional toll on you as a person, and that's something that also needs to be managed. Sana early on, hindi siya nagpa-pile up because baka ikaw rin ang mag-break
ikaw rin ang nagmamanage nun kasi ikaw yung supervisor ng mga volunteers.
We have our mga counselors then, junior counselors and interns, but debriefing, talking about your calls, you can do that with anyone diba? There's always the human connection that's very important that comes into to the picture.
Wow. Mga bayani kayo. Okay, you mentioned kanina yung ibang helplines, 'di ba? Are there others? Would you know? Kasi dito sa Ateneo yung meron dati dito pero dial a friend. I don't know if it's still on.
Matagal na yata yung
di ba?
I don't know if it's active
Yeah. But would you know of other?
Meron naman. So there's Hope Line from Natasha Goldburn Foundation.
Yes.
So and then also the NCMH hotline, National Center for Mental Health. They're also setting up a hotline
Jake lahat
because of the Mental Health Act, diba? From June 2017, when it was passed from June 2017. There needs to be more resources for mental health issues like this. So there are other helplines. The mission then becomes to make people aware of these helplines. So it's our hope.
And we also refer to other specialized agencies like Women's Care for domestic violence, sometimes a PGH, Child Protection Unit. So Crisis Line was able to increase capacity, but I think there's still many people out there who still need help.
Definitely.
Yung you mentioned that law, 'di ba? That was already a success, 'di ba? Pero what else is needed? Sabi nila the law is there, but of course wala pa raw yung implementing rules and regulations yata
I think it's coming out soon. It's coming out soon.
What about the funding?
And so that's the
problem.
The next part. And then I know part of it there will be pilot mental health units in the hospitals will be set up also. So yun yung future vision ng mental health law.
Okay. So what else is provided for by that law?
Which one? The access for everybody to mental health.
Okay.
And then I think also that it will be covered by the.
May hanggang barangay. Paano yung what does the law provide for hanggang barangay? Merong mga mental health, di ba? Ngayon kasi merong mga barangay health centers.
Yes.
Di ba? Ganun. So, ano ba yan? Mag-i-insert ng tao doon? Parang hindi ko ma-imagine eh. Di ba? Parang...
I don't know exactly how it will be implemented.
Oo nga, part of
but
the
if we're
implementation.
extending, let's say, the DOH from physical health to mental health,
Oo.
I'm sure there will be
Yeah.
either the workers in place now will also be trained around spotting mental health issues
Yes.
and making the referrals to the appropriate hospitals, perhaps, or the doctors or psychiatrists that are and. The hospitals will also be government hospitals will also be setting up mental health units within their scope.
Kasi dun pa lang nga sa mga doktor pa lang, mga nurses, kulang na tayo, no? And then here comes this law, 'di ba, na yun nga asking government to provide for mental health, 'di ba? Alam mo naman pag gobyerno, 'di ba? Sorry pero 'di ba pag gobyerno,
The best hope naman din is kasi with the increased awareness, there can be early intervention. So bago lumala, while the symptoms maagapan the symptoms, so you don't need, let's say, the intensive inpatient type of care that's required pag naging schizophrenia na, or yung sabihin nilang commonly na nasisiraan na ng ulo. So we hope there will be less of that, and so that the early intervention with the signs of depression and social supports, finding productive work, those things can already help alleviate a lot of symptoms. Getting the right sleep and proper nutrition, malaking bagay na rin yun.
Actually, information campaign
Yes.
about mental health. But I'm not sure merong mental health awareness day nga, di ba?
Yes.
Pero I don't know if that is being promoted by the Department of Health right now.
I
Di ba?
think, yeah,
Parang I've not seen just today, or kahapon, wala akong nakitang any news article saying na, it's mental health awareness month or day, di ba? Wala.
Coming on Thursday.
Meron din silang mga pinuput together. Meron ding convention for conference for mental health issues, no. But I think to your point na wala tayong nakikita as much. Talagang there's a lot of work to be done in terms of even spreading information na resources are out there. People are actually planning programs. The government might be putting together some programs for mental health. NGOs and other youth groups are putting together activities. Pero personally, this is even our challenge, no? How do you reach people, especially those suffering themselves with mental health issues? So that is one of the biggest challenge, and you hit the nail on the head na talagang we don't hear about it. So that's our best hope, is to be able to raise awareness and more people will talk about it so that we can.
Yung mga tumatawag ba sa inyo sa helpline ninyo, Jake, from all walks of life,
Yes.
would you say? So,
Yes. From all walks of life. Some of them are even, recently we've even been getting calls from expats.
Wow.
We've been getting calls.
But living here.
We've also gotten some calls from abroad. Maybe when we try to ask them, they know someone here or they've seen it from social media. So
Do you ask them, how did you find out about us?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. Sometimes they are comfortable to give that information. So mostly from, again, yung hyperconnectedness natin through social media right now, diba? Na talagang, yun ang ano natin eh. Right now, that's what we can leverage na social media to reach more people. But we know not everyone naman is on social media. So how do we reach those people?
So you're telling us, Jake, na you have the facilities, the personnel, and there, no? So you are, kumbaga, more callers are okay, di ba? You'll be able to accommodate everyone?
Well, that's the hope. That's our hope. Right now, we're building a pool of more volunteers because we're preparing. Yun nga, sabi na, diba? If you build it, it will come.
Yeah.
Diba?
Oh.
So ang ano natin, what we're worried about is more people will ask for help eventually, but we will not be able to serve. So that becomes our challenge and our mission na mag 1:1 siya hopefully. No? Na more people will reach out and we have people also capable to help out.
But how do you manage that? Ano ba? Kasi mga Katipuneros, of course, Radyo Katipunan is catering to the Ateneo community and it's a big population already, mga 20,000. Daytime population 20,000 and of course you have our families pa so times ilan yan but I've invited them sa DZMM and it will open up to a bigger population so I'm concerned about the capacity of
That's why I said, Jake, when you're ready, that's when we will accept Father Nono's invitation.
kasi maraming tatawag sa inyo. Diba? Yeah. So, you think you can manage?
Well, yun ang ano natin. We're preparing for that. We're preparing for that definitely. Right now, we're having our training. So, we're training another batch of volunteers, another pool of volunteers.
To man the phones.
To man the phones, trained volunteers to become responders. And again, we're trying to build that pipeline of volunteers.
And this is voluntary basis, right?
Yes.
All volunteers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I think that message gives hope then. Na there are actually people who want to volunteer, who want to be trained because they want to help other people. And that's how Jelly started.
I also started as a volunteer on the crisis line. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Sa telepono ka muna bago ka
Yeah, when I was beginning as a counselor, so wala muna akong masyadong referrals. Sabi ko nga, let me volunteer also in crisis line. So doon ako nahasa din.
Yeah.
Now Jelly is helping train our volunteers also.
Ikaw, Jake, what, di ba, you left your
corporate.
Your 100,000 peso. Hindi, joke lang.
I wish.
Pero what attracted you?
Well, talaga, honestly, not to, nothing against corporate or people in the corporate, diba? But I don't know, cliche as it may sound, I guess it's also part of my education. Na talagang sabi ko nga, looking back, you hear man for others, you hear, diba? Parang, hindi naman sa, pero parang you imbibe the values. Tapos, you land the job, diba? Parang you're faced with a computer from 9 to 5. Parang, this can't be just it, diba? Na parang it cuts out human connection. So I think that's what brought me to actively search for volunteer opportunities. And that's how I started also. So yun, I volunteered, tapos I worked
how did you find out at that time na meron palang ganito?
I actively searched it on the internet.
Wow.
Naghanap ako ng volunteer opportunities. I came across In Touch. Tried it out. I tried to volunteer. I was trained and then I manned the helplines. Before, I would even take shifts. Tapos, minsan, kunwari mag-half day pa ako sa office or something. Basta, just to kind of manage the shifts, no? Yun. And then, there's something about this kind of work, the volunteering experience that, it's very rewarding to be able to talk to someone. Parang it's a one-on-one connection with someone experiencing something, and at the end of the call, they feel na kahit pa sabihin mong the slightest help, they feel they were helped. That's parang, okay, that's a reason to get up in the morning. So
Wow, well said. Something about helping people heal, diba? No, that's so attractive, no? Wow.
And if I can share also, Father Nono, kasi this is my third time here on your show, and then it's good we have the recordings available on Facebook. So I share that in my some of the social groups on Facebook, and somebody from watching that, she PM'd me and told me her situation with her sister and how she needed to get help for her sister. I was not available at that time, so I referred her to call crisis line, and she was advised, yes, it's time to bring your sister to the hospital. And so I finally got to talk to her after the sister was confined na. And then she was saying it was really like, grace of God, all of this happened, that she saw my post of our interview. So she got some information that, oh yes, I really should bring my sister. The mental health condition was already deteriorating. She got the advice from crisis line. It's a definitely hand of God how she was able to bring her sister to the hospital.
Wow.
Because syempre resistant yung sister niya, but there was a way was made for them to be both go to the hospital and to have her sister see the psychiatrist.
God provides.
So really, it's like if only one person is helped by this show, your show.
Yeah. Yun yung dahilan, di ba, Jake? Yun yung dahilan.
That's the hope.
Wow. Okay, sandali na. Naiindinig ang mga balahibo ko.
So we should give the Christ line numbers also.
Oh, yeah. Wait lang po. Okay, so may mga nagte-text lang sa atin, okay?
Yeah.
Nag-PPM si Noel Ferrer. Noel Ferrer was OSA director, Office of Student Affairs director during your time. Si Paul Mangilog Saltarin, Lester Menjola, Jenny Chua, good morning. Magandang umaga po. Gilbert Buenavista, good morning. Kathy Cardos, Julius Tandok, Ernestine Tamana, and Anthony Perez. Okay, so sige nga, i-post na natin ang ating mga hotlines para...
So, just for everyone out there, so there is a thing as Crisis Line. So, Crisis Line by InTouch Community Services. So, our telephone numbers, 8893-7603. And then we also have mobile numbers, 0917-800-1123. And a SUN number, 0922-893-8944. So...
And a website? Do you have a website?
Yes, our website is www.in-touch.org. So, feel free to check out these resources. We have the crisis line. We have our...
Facebook also.
Yes, we're also on Facebook, InTouch Community Services. So, please follow us on Facebook. We do try to share relevant content there. So, shout out to our very good social media team who works very hard to reach out to more people. And siguro, as we're sharing the numbers for Crisis Line and the details for InTouch, I also siguro a small call to action parang for people for like-hearted people out there who kind of are looking for reasons to get up in the morning. Maybe you would want to try volunteering. You'd want to try the experience to be able to be trained and help other people. And that's something that aligns with our role and our vision and mission at InTouch. And we may be able to save a life. We all matter. Sabi nga natin sa InTouch, we all matter.
Yes. We all matter.
Yeah. You just have to remember that the new number has an additional 8.
8. Oo nga pala.
8893.
For PLDT.
Yes.
Landline. Okay.
So 8893 na ngayon, 7603.
Yung kanina na-mention ko maybe I can just ask your advice, di ba? Or your opinion on this. Yun nga, yung mga suicides on campus. Can we just talk about that? Since it's very recent. Dalawa ang alam ko. To my knowledge, dalawa are very recent, in the last 3 or 5 days.
Yeah. Well, definitely for the people left behind, students, friends, and family, they should access maybe a group grief session or debriefing to be able to process the loss of their loved one, because it will take time also to refocus on life again, and then I guess that's why the Why You Matter campaign is very important, is for the rest of us to begin to be aware of some of the signs of depression, and also take the courage when to approach somebody we feel is troubled. Yeah, that's why the algae is important.
Yeah.
And John Hendon, who I learned the preventing suicide method using solution focused approach, he has a story where one of his trainees was on an plane flight on the way home after a training, and then normally she doesn't talk to her seatmate, but this time she saw the young man beside her look troubled, and so she broke her silence and asked, how are you doing? Are you okay?
Yeah.
And the young man said he was on his way home to say goodbye. So he had already plans of
Oh my God.
taking his life. So it was
Oh my
really, the right timing that she chose to. She saw he was troubled, chose to ask him, "Are you okay?" And able to, maybe turn the situation around for him, so that he could consider other options.
Sandali lang, binibitin mo kami. How did that
Yeah.
story end? Ikaw naman? How did that story end?
No, then of course he reconsidered that decision to take his life.
Kakabitin eh.
But at that point, di ba, at that point where he already had plans, and somebody approached him who knew how to listen with empathy and non-judgment to what he was going through, then at least he reconsidered what his plan.
Meron naman kayong mga ganyang karanasan, yung magsisuicide na?
Meron, syempre. I just, from Jelly's point, no, the simple phrase, "Are you okay?" It's not asked enough. So if you talk to someone thinking about suicide, worse, planning towards suicide, when you ask them na parang what could help you, or parang what could help you manage better, what could help you see other options, ganyan. If people, like some of them, if people ask me how I'm doing, or if people reach out to me or something like that, so I guess that simple phrase of "Are you okay?" or "How are you?" or how can I help you?" It's a simple phrase, but not asked enough.
Yeah.
So, connections like that, kahit a telephone conversation, that provides that avenue to be able to ask someone. And with the helpline, Father Nono, may kami dyan parate, there's a glimmer of hope. Because if someone wants to commit suicide or thinks about suicide, but they called, so there's something there that
hindi pa tapos.
That you're looking for. There's something there that we can work with.
It's
identifying that. It's identifying that this is a cry for help, and how can we help you? Or what does help look like to you? So there's always hope. So I guess that's also part of the mission, to instill hope.
Meron bang mga bumabalik na tawag na nagsabing, I just like to thank you.
Meron.
May ganun?
Meron.
Oh my
And
God,
that's-
sarap no.
And that's the best kind of call that you can take when you're on shift.
Yes.
Na parang even if hindi ikaw yung nakatake ng call,
for the
someone
group,
someone calls and
for the
says,
team.
"I talked to so and so.
Yeah.
Can you please let him or her know that our conversation helped and that I called again today?"
Wow. Hindi nyo naman yung ano ko.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Very-
As a volunteer ba sa helpline, do you identify yourself? Do you give your real name? No. No rin. No.
No.
Pero at least meron silang
Yes.
identification.
Yes.
Pakisabi kay brother ganyan.
Yes, correct.
Wow. Ikaw mismo nakakuha ka ng ganyan tao. Ang sarap
Yes.
nun.
Yes.
How did you feel? Ang sarap
Syempre,
nun.
yun nga.
You saved a life.
We're all social beings, no? We need human connections. We also need, while we want to help others, we also need validation.
Yeah.
And I guess parang yun yung parang mutual encounter nun na you realize you helped someone and that person feels thankful. Pero you also feel na parang I have a purpose. Ang sarap ng feeling.
Meron bang pagkatapos niyan, ang dami kong merong meron bang pagkatapos niyan, pumunta sa inyo, sinadya kayo, and then, I don't know, just to thank you, give you with something, or ask if they could volunteer. May mga ganyan?
Meron din. And ang maganda kasi dyan is when they call, no, parang it provides some sort of continuum na after that conversation, our best hope is, yun, nabigyan sila ng hope, and then they're actually more ready to do counseling because they felt some value in talking about it. So, yung iba started from a call, then parang biglang attends or does counseling with a professional counselor, and then they feel helped. Tapos magpapasabi na lang sila doon sa counselor na, by the way, I called your crisis line before, please thank them, ganyan. So,
galing.
Yung iba na-refer they get referred to me. I pass on the compliments that.
Galing.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. So, thank you for those stories. Ito, may tanong ako, siguro si Jelly, na we talk about mental health for the parents, for all of us. Paano ba maging healthy kasi mentally? How do you take care of your mental health? Diba?
As a parent?
As an individual, diba? How do you make sure that you are not, diba, prone to, diba, depression, anxiety?
Oh, yeah. Well, the basic.
How do you make yourself healthy and strong?
Basic self-care. Of course, physical health. In terms of sleep is very important in our modern world.
Justin, sleep daw.
Getting the right amount of sleep.
Ayaw tumutulog eh.
Eating right. So basic yun.
Marami siyang eating.
It solves 50% of the problem. Yeah, when we go to sleep, that's when the brain can reset and detoxify also. So una yun. And then having social supports. You have kahit not just a few friends, somebody you can open up to, that they have your back no matter what. So remember to cultivate that, to have those few friends. And then doing something that you love, interesting, basta you have at least one source of inspiration, no matter what. I know some of us, we're givers, we take care of other people, but it's hard. How do we recharge ourselves So we cannot give 100% unless there's a way that we also get fed and get inspired. So if it's music, dancing, going out with friends, find out what it is and then make a little time for that. Kahit 30 minutes a day lang, parang ma-inspire ka din. Hindi lahat all giving and all pressure and all work. So there has to be a way to find that.
Ginagawa mo ba yun, Jake?
Balance. We try. We try.
Wala tayo masyadong oras, pero gusto ko sanang tanungin si Jake kasi I'm concerned about the university, di ba? How would you consider the atmosphere, the environment of the school environment here at the Ateneo?
10 years
diba?
Pala. 10 years.
Since prep.
Diba? Yun. True
Since
blue
prep to college ako.
Diba?
Yeah, 10 years since I graduated.
Diba?
Yeah, so you're
Jake,
alumni.
parang...
I may not be as in touch now with with the culture right now, but I guess my time, during my time.
During your time, yeah.
I guess people were more parang wanting to figure themselves out more. I think there was parang a more individualistic view.
Okay.
Na parang what can I do? What can I contribute? I want to become this in the future. I want to become that in the future. Siguro that's just from my personal experience. That's something I noticed. Siguro the danger there is what if you don't know that, or what if it takes a while to figure that out, and everyone's in their own minds thinking about that.
Kanya-kanya.
People tend to forgo the support, the peer support for each other.
What about the degree of the level of pressure, stress?
I don't know if this is just limited to the schools or our current times. Talagang the pressure has increased exponentially. Shall we say na talagang you will have to, in order to meet some requirements, you will have to forgo basic needs like sleep to be able to make up for time.
Yun nga So hindi na kasi naawa ko sa inyo na nagtuturo ako sa inyo. Kasi grabe, sa high school to Sorry po. Weekly merong something special. Like merong Shakespeare Week. Merong pagkatapos ng Shakespeare Week, merong Filipino Week. Ang daming, every week na lang merong sabi ko.
May event.
Sabi ko, di ba na to? Sobrang naman ito. Di ba? Walang downtime. It's always...
Parang yung...
Ganda nun. Downtime. That's needed.
The human factors. Tsaka playtime. The free time to do nothing. And to integrate the experience of So may normal tayong up and down with
Yun nga eh,
with
oo.
life or like during the week.
Well, anyway, mapag-usapan natin sa DCMM. Okay, thank you so
Sige.
much. So,
Yeah.
perhaps we can invite again our Ateneo community, okay, our friends here, to get in touch with In Touch.
Yeah.
Jake?
Sige, to my fellow Atenistas, thank you again for having us here. It's an honor to be back at Ateneo. But our mission here is to let everyone know that mental health there is a stigma, but with our help, there is a way to eliminate that stigma with everyone's help. So reach out to someone, be it a friend, a family member. If you will need the help of trained professionals or responders, reach out to Crisis Line, reach out to In Touch. I gave our contact numbers earlier. Baka we can also post it sa no. So reach out, ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not pag-iinarte that you also need to be taken care of. So if you cannot provide that, or if you do not have that avenue to take care of yourself, if you need the help of others, that's okay. So reach out.
Okay. May pahabol lang si Ligaya Serene Austria. Good morning po. And Michelle Cervantes Lim, do you know her?
Yes,
hi,
one of our
Mitch.
Sabi niya, thank you Jelly and Jake for being an effective voice for the In Touch and Crisis Line community. Is she part of the okay. Thank you so much. Okay, maraming salamat.
Thank you,
Maraming
Father.
salamat, Father.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to our interview sa DCMM this Saturday. Yes.
Great.
Thank you for
Okay.
having us.
Yan po ang ating programa. Thank you so much kay Jake at kay Jelly. And sana hindi kayo magsawa. Yes. Okay, so Thursday is Mental Health Awareness Day. Okay. So please spread the word. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Hanggang bukas, ito po ang The Jesuit Hour and I'm your host, Father Nono Alfonso, SJ. Have a nice day.
The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.